How does the Pimax Crystal Light performs in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020? I got a lot of questions about that, so in this video we are going to check that out. In kind of a new setting here, I will take you with me on how I do these testings. We are going to do this test on this computer over here with all the RGB nonsense inside. It has a 4090 inside, a high-end CPU and 64 gigabytes of RAM. And before we put on the headset, let me take you through the settings here on my computer. So let me put the headset aside here and let me go here to the computer, go to Options, General Options, and switch to VR. And as you can see here, we are using the following settings. By the way, oh wait a second, this has to be to 100. This is, by the way, kind of a copy from Fligth Sim Guy. I will put the link to his channel down below. If you need to know anything about Flight Simulator 2020 settings, I think he is the guy that you need to go to, especially for VR. I will just scroll down here just a little bit. I think I will turn this on as well. So here we have TAA, 100 render scaling, terrain level of detail 100. Most things are on high, some things are on medium. But we are going to test it mostly on the high settings over here. And let me apply and save. Okay, let me turn on my headset over here. So where I want to test first is in Sedona. So I will set my departure over here. And I want to do that in the Cessna. Okay, so here we are in Sedona and we are hitting 60 FPS. And now this is with fixed foveated rendering enabled. So it's with fixed foveated rendering enabled. It's very sharp. All the indicators and text on the screens here I can read. Now let's see what happens here on the ground when I turn off fixed foveated rendering. We are now in 60 FPS, 62, and now I turn it off. And we go well to 52. Okay, so we lose around 10 FPS here. Not too shabby, isn't it? Okay, let me turn it back on and that will just bump it up back to its 60s or just crash the game. It crashed. Alright, we are back in Sedona here. Again, 60 FPS with fixed foveated rendering. I am just going to turn it off here. You will see it will drop down to 49 to 50, and when turning it on again, we gain a nice 10 FPS, so that is very nice. So let me take off here and let's see what the FPS does once we are getting up in the air. Absolutely beautiful. You can already see the mountains up there. I'm pointing, but it really doesn't matter. There we go. 60 knots, nicely climbing. And here I'm maintaining 60 FPS here with fixed foveated rendering. It might look a little bit blurry for you guys. I don't really know how to get the mirror to be sharp. But what I see, I can tell you, is that I can see everything very sharp. So I can read whatever is on the screen here. When I look at the little buttons over here, I can read them. I just have to do my best a little bit, but I can read them from here. And having 60 FPS here with the Pimax Crystal Light with fixed foveated rendering enabled. Let me turn it off once more. And as you can see, we are now hitting, still good though, 50 FPS. And of course, we are going to check out the performance if we fly over Manhattan. Let me put myself over here, a departure, and I want to have clear skies. And let me just turn off all the multiplayer options. Okay, so here we are flying over Manhattan. And the FPS right now is 50. And that is without fixed foveated rendering. I'm kind of surprised that it is still at its 50s here. So let's see what will happen if we turn on fixed foveated rendering. And if we can get a 10 FPS increase. That would be nice. Turning it on right now. Yeah, that is a lot. Well, 8 FPS more. Still a nice gain though. Again, a 10 FPS more here. And I mean 60 FPS over Manhattan. The ultimate test, I would say. Okay, so let's make it a little bit more difficult. The Airbus A320 NEO V2. Okay, here we are in the Airbus A320 in Miami International Airport. Now, you can see 40 FPS. This requires a little bit more resources here. I do see everything very clear. So for example, what is there on the MFDs, on the screens here, I can read. Seat belts, no smoking, ground spoilers armed, etc. Also for the buttons, very clear. Now this is 40 FPS with fixed foveated rendering, so let me just turn it off. Nothing happens. That's funny. So we gained 10 FPS in that smaller plane. And here on the ground in Miami in the Airbus, without fixed foveated rendering, we have 42 FPS. And if I turn on fixed foveated rendering right now, we don't gain any more FPS. Positive climb rate, gear up, and we are now at 38 FPS, although of course we have the city of Miami in front of us. And again, 38 FPS with fixed foveated rendering. Let me turn it off. Oh, 33, 37. Let me turn it off right now. Nothing is happening. So in the Airbus A320, nothing is happening. I also want to check that out in the Boeing here. Same airport, Miami, in the Boeing 747 with fixed foveated rendering. We have around 52 FPS over here, and I will be turning it off right now. Okay, so here we do see a gain. 45 FPS right now. I am going to turn it on again. Okay, so that is again a 10 FPS increase with fixed foveated rendering. But I think, you know, flying in a Cessna is just what I like to do most, and just do a little bit of sightseeing. So let me just grab the Cessna again and let me put myself here at the cliffs of Dover, set departure, and see what we get over there. Yeah, so here we are at the cliffs of Dover. It looks spectacular here with fixed foveated rendering enabled, and we hit 60 FPS. Absolutely amazing. Let me just turn it off right now. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, 10 FPS. It's exactly 10 FPS. Let me turn it on again. And we went from 50 to around 60. So this is my VR face, but okay. Hey, I am very happy with the results of the Pimax Crystal Light having fixed foveated rendering enabled. In almost all planes and in almost all scenarios, it gives me a 10 FPS increase. Now, that doesn't happen in the Airbus A320 NEO V2, but I think that plane is very resource heavy. But overall, fixed foveated rendering can do magic. Also in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Of course, this is a very high-end computer. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do a similar test with a 3080 Ti computer and a i9-900K CPU. That was it for today. I hope you liked this quick performance test. If you do, give it a like, and if you want to keep up to date with the latest VR updates and gameplay, then just subscribe to my channel. I will be flying a little bit more. Or editing. I will be editing this video, so I can put it online. Okay, see you later. Ciao.